Welcome, everyone, to our third installment of the Roots Cellar at Home, Calliope's online series aimed at bringing great musicians into your home once a month. I'm Phil Smith, a member of the Calliope board, and we're very pleased to present tonight's concert and to encourage you to stay tuned for conversation after the show. Scott Ainslie will be glad to respond to questions that are posted as comments. First, some housekeeping. In accord with our mission, Calliope aims to support local and national artists as best we can. 75% of your tip for tonight's performance goes to the artist and the rest for associated fees. If you haven't already, you can go to paypal.me/CalliopeHouse to tip Scott. The suggested amount is $20, but you may tip what you wish. I'm delighted to tell you that the next Roots Cellar at Home will feature a pair of Detroit blues, gospel, and folk singers, the Reverend Robert Jones and Matt Watroba, on October the 16th. More artists are soon to be confirmed for this series. You can stay up to date with everything we have planned on our website at www.calliopehouse.org. And you can also sign up there for our e-blast, where we are also currently featuring some great videos from local artists. Calliope audiences have enjoyed Scott Ainslie's performances in Pittsburgh at the Lecture Hall, the Roots Cellar, and at house concerts. He's played all over this country and in Canada and Europe. Everywhere he goes, Scott brings an unmatched authenticity and commitment to his heartfelt performances of traditional Appalachian and African American songs. Mentored by master musicians, storytellers, and blues and gospel singers, he pays forward their heritage. In concerts, Scott passes on and renews our history by showing us how songs exist as human documents connecting times, places, and peoples. So it is, too, with the songs he writes, or with his renditions of standards from the Great American Songbag, from Harold Arlen to Sam Cooke. If you visit Scott's website, cattailmusic.com, you'll find your way into his blues resources for readers and teachers, his 6 CD recordings, and his videos. I recommend them all, but you might start with his latest CD, The Last Shot Got Him. I encourage singers and guitar players to check out Scott's teaching videos. During the pandemic, he's produced a remarkable series of lessons unpacking the music of Mississippi John Hurt. If you've heard Scott before or studied with him at music camps, I'm reminding you of what you already know. It's why you've chosen to be with us. If you're meeting him for the first time in this performance, I invite you to listen, enjoy, and learn. And everyone, please post your comments and join the conversation after the show. Now, here's Scott Ainslie.
Hey, Phil, and my friends at Calliope and around the country. The Last Shot Got Him, the CD that Phil mentioned, was all recorded on this little 1934 Gibson L50. It's an archtop guitar. And the first time I picked it up, I thought it sounded more like Robert Johnson's recordings than any other instrument I had ever played. I was shocked. And it took about 2 years, came into my hands from Linda Handelsman, a very fine composer and musician who at the time was living in Lafayette, Louisiana. So when I first met this guitar, it was playing Cajun music. I got a kind-hearted woman, do anything in this world for me. Got a kind-hearted woman, do anything in this world for me. But these evil-hearted women, man, they will not let me be. I love my baby don't love me. I know you know what that feels like said, I love my baby. My baby don't love me. And I really love that woman. Can't stand to leave her be. Now, there be just one thing makes Mr. Ainslie drink, I swear. By how you treat me, baby, I began to think, oh, baby, my life don't feel the same. You break my heart when you call Mr. So-and-so's name. Call his name. Kind-hearted woman, but she studies evil all the time. Got a kind-hearted woman, but she studies evil all the time. She wills to kill me as the habit on her mind. Someday, I will shake your little hand goodbye. Someday, I will shake your little hand goodbye. I can't give you any more of my loving, 'cause I just ain't satisfied. Robert Johnson. This guitar had a very particular voice, and it liked music from when it was new. So all the songs on the record except one, which I wrote in the harmonic style of that period, come from between the 1920s and mid-20s and the 1940s. And the guitar liked John Hurt a lot and sent me down the rabbit hole of chasing John Hurt's material again. When I first heard that stuff when I was 17 in 1970, in the fall of 1970, I was just floored by it. And it's amazing. I passed my classes at university that semester because I spent almost the entire time trying to figure out how to play that stuff. So I do have 15 lessons, nearly 3 hours of instruction. It's a project that got out of hand. That I did for my guitar playing friends and students around the country who can't gather right now. And they're up on YouTube for a little bit longer, and they're also at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Scott Ainslie. And they're there with the lowest possible donation levels. So join us if you can, if you like this stuff. But this is the last shot. The first shot missed him. Shot missed him, mile away, the last shot got him. So they say, oh, the last shot got him. The last shot got him. She make good biscuits, so they say, oh, she make good biscuits. That's a good skill to have around here. got good business, so they say, oh, she got good business. You know, people will talk. Got good business. Dance tune that John recorded for the Library of Congress in 1963. Now, this guitar also liked, as I said, songs from its era. So we're going to play Irving Berlin. I never thought this guy would make my set lists. But I heard Sippy Wallace sing this song. And if you know Bonnie Raitt's name, which I trust you do, Sippy's name wouldn't be very far behind, because Bonnie found Sippy in her old age and in Sippy's old age and pulled her out of whatever she was doing. She was a torch singer in the 20s and a very fine songwriter. She's the woman who wrote the song Women Be Wise that Bonnie recorded on her first record. Women be wise, keep your mouth shut. Don't advertise your man. She was a very sassy singer. When I heard her do this tune, I just thought, boy, I want to learn how to sing like that, just a little bit. And it's a great song. Say It Isn't So. Tell it's an old song because it does this twice at the top. Say it isn't so. Say it isn't so. Everybody's saying that you don't love me. Say it isn't so. Everywhere I go, seem like everyone I know whispers you're growing tired of me. Say it isn't so. Somebody's saying that you found somebody new, and it won't be long before you leave me. Say it isn't true. Just say everything is still okay. That's all I want to know. And what they're saying, say it isn't so. Everywhere I go, seem like everyone I know whispers you're growing tired of me. Say it isn't so. Somebody's saying that you found somebody new, and it won't be long before you leave me. Say it isn't true. Just say everything is still okay. That's all I want to know. And what they're saying, say it isn't so. What they're saying, say it isn't so. Yeah, 1934. This is the only original song on the record. I'm gonna start this again. I started thinking about something else. I'll fix this in the video. Late last night, rich and powerful man set the dogs loose on our throats again. Break out the flags, strike up the band. It's the money, you know it is. Somebody pulls a trigger and somebody gets rich. But there ain't a thing in this whole wide world worth the life of one boy or the life of one girl. That's something that money can't buy. No use crying over a little spilled milk. When someone makes a killing, somebody gets killed. There'll be no cross by the side of the road. No photograph, no plastic rose. But what I wouldn't give for a kiss on the cheek, the touch of your hand, my knees get weak. That's something that money can't buy. Late last night, rich and powerful man set the dogs loose on our throats again. Break out the flags, strike up the band. The Little Gibson. Made in 1934 when Robert Johnson was 24 years old. An amazing guitar. Wonderful. One of the great things about doing these concerts from my house to your house is that I get to have 5 instruments on stage with me, which I never do when I'm on the road. So this is a 2005 Froggy Bottom guitar in an open C minor tuning. Another man done gone. Another man done gone. Another man done gone down to New Orleans. Another man done gone. I didn't know his name. 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 He had a long chain on. He had a long chain on. Long chain on, he had a long chain on. He killed another man. He killed another man. He killed another man. Killed another man. He killed another man. Another man done gone. Another man done gone. Another man done gone down to New Orleans. Another man done gone. Another man done gone down to New Orleans. Another man done. Another man done gone. Song by Vera Hall, recorded by the Lomaxes in 1937 in Livingston, Alabama. Just having a ball here picking up guitars. This is my National, which I normally travel with. It's a 1931, fairly gaudy guitar. I found it at a pawn shop in Columbus, Georgia in the middle of the First Gulf War. A little more Robert Johnson. When you get a good friend that will stay right by your side, when when you got a good friend that will stay right by your side. Give her all your spare time, love and treat her right. Seemed like good advice, right? I mistreat my baby, I can't see the reason why. I mistreat my baby, I can't see the reason why. Every time I think about it, I just wring my hands and cry. Wring your hands and cry. To apologize. If I did, would she sympathize with me? I know I treated her wrong, but could I bear to apologize? And would she sympathize with me? She's a brown-skinned woman, just as sweet as any girlfriend can be. Your close friends, baby, then your enemies can't do you no harm. Watch your close friends. When you get a good friend that will stay right by your side. When you get a good friend that will stay right by your side. All your spare time, love and treat her right. Love and treat her right. It turns out that most blues songs are about love, and I wrote this tune originally. This next tune has a kind of a sad D minor blues. It was a sad set of lyrics in a minor key, and when it came time to make Thunder's Mouth my fifth record, I was not interested in playing it because the words were sad and the music was sad. It's just like it was sad. But I spent about a year messing around with Central African and Central West African and Central African Republic guitarists who were recorded in the 1950s playing on handmade instruments when the guitar was reasonably new to that part of Africa. And people were just stringing them up with fishing line and making them out of stuff. And the guitars didn't have any sustain. So in trying to get my guitar to sound like a $2 African guitar, I put a paper towel under the strings here. And I played along with the grooves. And I rewrote the song. It turns out in West Africa, even the sad songs sound like this. I'll take it if my stuff will fit, or maybe I'll just get rid of it. I need a place to call home, a little place of my own. I should get just a game. All the kids out playing stickball in the rain, and no one keeping score. Who could ask for more? I should get over this. Can't make the pieces fit. I should get over this. Give me a minute, give me an hour, maybe a lifetime. Give me a minute, give me an hour, maybe a lifetime, and I'll have the power. I should get over this. Can't make the pieces fit. I should get over this. I should get over this. Can't make the pieces fit. I should get over this. It's no use. The gods don't listen to me. We all break the rules. It's just a matter of degree. I want you back again. Your name is written on my skin. I should get over this. Can't make the pieces fit. I should get over this. Thanks. Fun, huh? This is open E tuning. Don't try this on a flat top, a nice flat top guitar. Tune down to D and capo up. We're gonna let this guitar get used to that for a minute. Well, I have I have a dear friend on the West Coast, out in LA in the smoke right now. It's his birthday. Harry, I don't know if you're listening, but yeah, and if you're not Harry, and it's not your birthday, or if it is your birthday but you're not Harry, you can kind of reinterpret this for yourself. This is Harry. I didn't think I was going to do this tonight. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my dear friend. Happy birthday to you. Now you can sing along at home, right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my dear friend. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Harry. Now, if you were washing your hands, you only had to wash them for one time through that song, right, to get it right. Get the coronavirus off it. Anyway, some fun. This is a 2016 Froggy Bottom guitar. That I had the good fortune to build with Michael Millard, lead me by the nose all the way through the whole process. And Eric Goodenough and Andy Miller at Froggy Bottom Guitars. So thank you, boys. I like it. And this is a song that I've been struggling with for a long time. I wrote it for Julia Ward Howe, who wrote the lyrics for the Battle Hymn of the Republic and said it to John Brown's Body Lies a Moldering in the Grave, an abolitionist hymn. And it became the Union marching song, of course. And after the war, seeing what that conflict wrought, I mean, 600,000 dead. We're a third of the way there now with the coronavirus, by the way. She wrote the first Mother's Day Declaration. Now, Mother's Day wasn't established until Woodrow Wilson was in the White House around World War I. But she wrote it as a tirade against war, as a day of peace, a day for mothers to not give their children to kill other mothers' children. And it was a beautiful thing. It was like the Northern Ireland peace process when the women came out and said, no, this has to stop. But it was in 1875, thereabouts. So I've been struggling with this song for a long time. And I finally got a chance to spend some time with John Vesner, a dear friend in Nashville, a great songwriter. And John just straightened out a piece of it that I was having trouble with and set it in a context where I could finish it. And so we co-wrote this together. I think I'm doing it again, but I'm thinking about calling it For Julia Ward Howe so that people will get it. Anyway, here it is. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. So began the song that sent our boys to war. From Shiloh to Vicksburg, Manassas to Bull Run, round Union fires my battle hymn was sung. And though they knew the bitter vintage of the grapes of wrath, lightning's terrible swift sword was in their hand. And we find ourselves marching down that old familiar path. Gotta help us, but we're doing it again. Stands idling in the field, the anvil silent by the forge, while elsewhere bullets rain and cannon roar. Taking cover on the ground before a God blind to blue or gray. May peace attend the good earth they embrace. Though they knew the bitter vintage of the grapes of wrath, lightning's terrible swift sword was in their hand. And we find ourselves marching down that old familiar path. Gotta help us, but we're doing it again. Why do we turn our children wild to slay some other mother's child when nothing's ever really reconciled at all? So sing me not of glory, bring me not the flag. These will not bind up my wound, but let the drums fall silent, the guns rust in the fields. Let us mourn the dead and help the living heal. For we know the bitter vintage of the grapes of wrath, and lightning's terrible swift sword is in our hand. And we find ourselves marching down that old familiar path. Gotta help us. Gotta help us. God help us. We're doing it again. Thinking of the Civil War. When I went off to college, I went to Washington and Lee University. They're talking about changing its name, and I'm glad they are. Named after two slaveholders. Thank you very much. Washington, of course, the father of our country. Well, okay. And Lee was a complicated character, but I about had it with glorifying and whitewashing, literally, the history of Confederate generals. But when I got to Washington and Lee, I ran into an old-time banjo player named Odell McGuire. And Odell taught me to play, and we played music together for 5 or 6 years, right straight through. And he taught me that it was okay to call somebody up if you liked what their music and go visit them. Just call them up. Say, you know, I really love the way you play. Can we come? And nobody said no. Everybody said, well, how about next weekend or 2 weeks? But nobody turned us down. And realizing that was possible, not just polite, but welcoming to have musicians come. It was a remarkable thing. It changed my life. So Odell, thanks, man. He's gone now, quite long gone, but it's a tune I learned from a West Virginia banjo player named Dwight Diller, who could be a ferocious banjo teacher, but when we were young, we played this together. Frosty Morning. made this banjo in my kitchen in 1971. I had a rasp, a pocket knife. I bought an electric drill for the project. Got all the parts and pieces, a fingerboard and fret wire and everything from brackets and stuff from Stuart McDonald in Ohio. I could afford $100 for woods and part, but I couldn't afford to buy a banjo, and I needed one. So this is it. It's a pretty little thing. It's a mess, but if you look closely, I've been playing it ever since. And Lee Hammonds was one of the people we visited with up in West Virginia, and Lee was born in 1888, and he gave up the banjo in 20 or something when he fired the guy in his lumber camp who owned the banjo in the county, and he left, and banjo went with him, of course. And Lee didn't start playing again until the 1960s, the late 60s, early 70s, and he did something with his thumb that many banjo players didn't do, in my experiences. He'd drop a thumb note. The pattern is usually. And Lee would leave a downstroke out and put a thumb note where it belongs. So it'd be, instead of this, it'd be, there's a thing missing there. And it's just as cool a thing as you can hear. And the only other people, in my experience, to do this were accounting players from West Africa. So I thought it was a really cool thing when I heard them do it. I thought it was a cool thing when Lee did it too. So this is one of Lee's tunes, Walking in the Parlor. A couple of years back, I heard a story on NPR that I couldn't get out of my head. Around 2007, 2008. It was the story of a woman named Gracia Cruz and her uncle and her husband who were fleeing the violence and the damage that the NAFTA treaty did to Mexican farmers, which was profound. I mean, it hurt workers in this country as well, but nothing like what it did to the farm economy in Mexico. It basically made American corn the most heavily subsidized crop in the world, cheaper to sell in Mexico than it was to grow. And so undercutting the staple grain of all these peasant farmers and small landowners who had successfully farmed their places for 100 years and more, just really, they lost their land. They had to do something, and a lot of them came north, and Gracia and her family were among them. They signed on with the human smugglers, the coyotes, they were called at the time. And This is the story of their journey and what happened to them. And I wrote this sort of in their voice, and then I had to check it out with Latino friends, musicians who I love and respect, Dr. Jose Cuellar and Tomas Montoya. And I said, I'm kind of singing in your voice, and if I've got this wrong, you need to tell me. I mean, we'll throw it away or we'll fix it, but when you write someone else's story, you have to drive it by somebody who's a member of that culture. So I'm happy to say that the track's been produced. It's available on YouTube just to listen to and watch a video I made of the Sonoran Desert. You can see the terrain we're talking about. And Jose and Tomas both play on it. I'm going to be in tune. You'll forgive me, right? I go to the market in the town I was born. It's full of cheap clothes from China and American corn. But we have a small farm that we water with tears. How can we compete? The gringo farms are so big. Now we cannot stay here. And why would I leave the land that I love? Consuela, Rosalita, Mama y Papa. My grandfather's bones are up on the hill. If it weren't for low wages, I'd be living there still. So we pay the coyotes. We rode in the van. We walked in the desert, lost in this land. Her feet were so blistered that she could not go on. When I left her, I kissed her. When I came back, she was gone. And why did we leave the land that we love? Consuela, Rosalita, Mama y Papa. My grandfather's bones are up on the hill. If it weren't for low wages, I'd be living there still. Who cares if your markets are free? Look what you've done to my wife and me. Who cares if your markets are free? was a poor man who suffered and died. A crown of thorns, spear in his side. He said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they do. But I'm sorry, my friends, when we come to the end, how can we say that of you? And why would we leave the land that we love? Consuelo, Rosalita, Mama y Papa. My grandfather's bones are up on the hill. If it weren't for low wages, I'd be living there still. Who cares if your markets are free? Look what you've done to my wife and me. Who cares if your markets are free? Thanks. Well, it's almost 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna finish with another original song. These are songs that have not really been released. But we live in poignant times, and hopefully we'll all make it through together. So wear your mask, wash up, be careful. And vote, will you? Please. This is a song about what it is we do when we could all get together. Now we're doing it this way. And gratefully so. I love a darkened room. I love the empty stage where I lay my burdens down and I prepare to play. When the lights go dark and the crowds all drift away, when we part too soon from friends we make along the way, this is where we come together at the end of the day. How I love a darkened room, how I love the empty stage. When the lights go dark and the guitars are all put away, when we part too soon, may not see another day. This is where we come together. The close of the day. How I love a darkened room. How I love the empty stage. How I love, how I love, how I love. I want to thank you and all the folks at Calliope for helping us get this together tonight. And we're going to have a little reception starting in just a second. So if you'd like to stick around, we'll have a look at the comments that you all have made. And my wife Barb's here. If there's any questions or things that we need to talk about. And I'm just going to stay on the line for a little while. And put on some headphones so I can hear. And we'll see how this goes. Oh, let me see here. The computers. Colleen, I see that you liked it. I'm glad. If you have a question or comment on songs or things, that'd be great. Give us something to talk about.
Terry Hayes reported that he got to meet Odell.
Oh.
At a Dwight banjo camp.
Oh. Yeah, Odell was a character. Yeah, I loved Odell. There were times I walked out of his house swearing I would never come back, but I loved him and he loved me. He's a character, though.
The only real question that came in was, how many songs do you know?
Oh, I seem to be forgetting them now. I don't know how many songs I know. I played a lot of blues, of course, and a lot of stuff's just in my DNA. Every now and then I need to review some of these fancy guitar parts before I play them. I used to be more in shape, but we haven't been out of the house except to run away from home now and then in the RV and socially distance. But no shows. I don't expect we'll do any shows until probably the spring or summer of next year. So we expect to spend the whole year like this in the video studio, making instructional videos and creating a song and story documenting the history of the music and doing some educational programming for the schools, which are also locked down right now and need online content. So that's sort of what we're looking at. I established a Patreon page, patreon.com/Scott Ainslie, where for a very low entry-level fee, everybody gets access to the same stuff. Patreon's a structure that's designed around exploiting, giving artists a chance to exploit the capitalist model, where if you have more money, you get more stuff. And I spent 3 months trying to figure out how to defeat that. And so we're now having the people who have the most money pay so the people who have the least money can have the same access as they do. And it looks like it's going to be sustainable. It's been up for not quite a month. So we're very excited. No, actually, September 1st. It's been up for 2 weeks. So, Barb?
There's a question from Marion. How much time did you spend with West or other African musicians or other folk music interests?
Oh, I've spent some time around African musicians, mostly drummers and a few kora players, but mostly I've listened, and I spent a lot of time with older black players, of course, in the Mid-South, and Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and when I was a young father, a divorced father, but I was staying close to home, so that was where I went. And I transcribed all of Robert Johnson's work and published a book on it back in the 90s. And so I'm sort of immersed in that world and in the African roots of that music and of American popular music. So that's been a good chunk of what it is I've done, and that's what we'll be documenting for the Patreon page, so, and the schools.
Did you go to the Morris Family Festivals or any of the other early fiddlers festivals?
Oh God, yes, yeah. I went to the Morris Brothers, the Ivydale festivals, and I can't tell you what we called that, but every year I went there, it rained like crazy, and that little stream valley flooded. So we had 18 inches of mud. I mean, up to your knees in the campsite. And I slept one night. I'd set up a tent, but it was 12 inches underwater. So I slept in between the two front seats with my legs underneath the bed where Odell and Maida were sleeping in their Vanagon, Volkswagen camper van. I couldn't turn over. I mean, I just lay down and wait for somebody to pry me out in the morning. But Dave and John were friends, and Dave and I worked together in the visiting artist program in North Carolina in the 1980s. It was very, very good to be with him again. Very fine man. Gone now. Barb?
Stu Strothman is curious to hear you talk about the music and arts community in Brattleboro, Vermont.
Brattleboro is a town of 14,000 people, and a third of them are probably artists of one sort or another. We have writers and playwrights and puppet theaters and jazz and folk and Irish and not too many Southern old time players, sadly, but it's a big community of people who play professionally and amateurly. So you can't hardly throw a rock without hitting somebody. And we used to play for each other, but now now we sort of stand on our porches and share war stories and wait for this to be over. Anybody else? I can't read these; they're too small. So let me get a pair of glasses. This is not good video, I know, of me reading. Barb, can you?
No other questions.
Okay. Well, I want to remind you that Calliope is also trying to survive. This is the premier folk presenting organization in Pittsburgh, and they have a PayPal .me/Calliope House link for donations, and a portion of that will go to support them, and a portion will go to support me and my agent, who is also struggling to get through this time. Barb.
Phil asks if there's a story about the guitar that you started with. I think he means tonight, the Gibson.
Oh yeah, the little Gibson. This was in Linda Handelsman's hands. Linda's a very fine songwriter and arranger of traditional music and a great guitar player. She and David Greeley were playing fiddle duets, fiddle and guitar duets, just as a duo. It was like Cajun music in the kitchen, really, really beautiful stuff. And she was playing this guitar, and I went to her after their set at a music camp in outside of Lafayette, Louisiana, and I said, "Boy, can I see that guitar?" She said, "Sure," and she handed it to me, and I played a couple of notes on it as I did tonight when I started, and I thought, "My God, it sounds like Robert Johnson." And she said, "I'm thinking about selling it." And without looking up, of course, I said, "Well, what would you want for it?" And she told me a price, and I said, "I'll take it." And she went, because she was thinking about selling it, but she didn't realize she'd just sold it. So I'm walking around the parking lot with her trying to figure out how to get two guitars home on the airplane, the National and this, without either one getting damaged. And she's walking around the parking lot going, "What have I just done?" So when it became clear that she might not be ready to sell the guitar, I said, "Linda, I wouldn't take this off if you don't want to sell it. So think about it and let me know. And you can ship it to me or whatever. I mean, but if when you do decide to sell it, I'd like first refusal. I mean, just call me first. It's a really, really nice guitar." And she said, "Okay, well, I just don't know." And so we parted when I came home from Louisiana with one guitar, not two. We parted company, and I sent her an email a couple weeks later, thinking about selling me this guitar. She said, "Oh, I can't make up my mind." And I wrote her 2 years later, not because I found myself, and don't let any members of your family do this, but I found myself looking longingly at small-bodied archtop Gibson guitars on eBay in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. with my credit card out. It's very dangerous. And I thought, you know where one of these is that you like, and you should just call, give Linda a little tickle and see what she says. So I sent her an email, and she wrote back the next morning. She said, "You know what? That guitar is in the closet in its case where I put it when I came back from the gig where you wanted to buy it. And I walked by it the other day. I thought, this is crazy. I should sell this to Scott. I thought, great. And it took another 6 months. It was, it's just a very hard guitar to let go of. But should I ever decide to pass this guitar along to somebody who's not in my family and sell it, I'll call Linda first and give her a chance to buy it for what I've got in it. We did a lot of work on this guitar to stabilize it, and now it's ready to go another 80 years. I mean, it's a remarkable guitar. But Phil, thanks for asking, man. And you and Slu hug each other since I can't do it, and I look forward to seeing you as soon as we can. Anybody else? It's so great to sit with you all. I'm going to put up a slate when we're done here with the. With the donation thing on it, so. But it seems to have disappeared. I don't know quite why.
Still 37 people watching.
Well, that's good.
Nobody's commenting, so.
All right. Well, if y'all are still watching, let's see. How about a little banjo tune to go out? I want to thank you again. It's paypal.me/Calliope House for donations for this evening's show or to support Calliope as it struggles to survive, as we all do now. If you can be generous, do. You'll buy a place at the table for the people who have been hit harder than you have. And that's a very good thing. That's the world we want to live in. So I appreciate you and thank you for that. It seems like it's going to be okay if we hang together and vote. I mean, we're not going to talk about that, right? Lord have mercy. So a little meditative tune. This is clearly a fretless banjo tune because there's no notes above the second fret. I mean, it's crazy how simple it is. Another one of Lee's tunes called Johnny Booker, and you'll hear that little staggered thing where he drops a downstroke. So thank you all. I'll have a look at the comments when we're done, if I can get to them, and respond to you by email or on Facebook if that's the proper thing. And again, thank you for joining us this evening, and we look forward to seeing you around the corner when it's safe. Y'all take care of each other. All the best.
There it is.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So your mic is still live.
Thanks.
Thanks to Kim Laughlin. Kim Laughlin posted a comment to the us how that you might be still alive. And there's a weird artifact on your postcard. It's kind of a gray background, and there's black lettering. Be safe. Be well. Be cool. It's oddly shadowy in there.
Yeah, I had to build black in because the image wasn't big enough for 16 by 9. So, and this has got a background to it.
But do you see the black lettering? Be safe.
No, I don't see it.
Tip the screen.
Oh, yeah, that is weird.